Friends, welcome back. Today I'm going to go over the reprint of KonoSuba God Blessing on This Wonderful World, Legend of Crimson. This was a beautiful movie, and this is one of the things I get to thank Weiss Schwarz over because I did not watch KonoSuba until I got into Weiss Schwarz. This set came out on October 23rd, 2020. This happened before the collector boom. But what happened with this was there was a lot of this stuff out there was a lot of people that I would say wanted to use this for play, and that's a big consideration when you think about buying into the set. Remember, this came out in 2020 and people didn't really use it back then. So then when you think about it in the year 2025, what does that tell you? Okay, so this was one of those ones that got reprinted that I said to myself, I'm like, it didn't make sense to me why they would reprint this. If anything, they would have reprinted, volume one, volume two, the trial deck, any one of those would have been sufficient, but they didn't go that route. It makes you wonder. It definitely made me wonder, and you can see the beautiful cards inside of this booster box, irregardless of that fact. You have this greatest mage Yunyun. You have this foremost mage Megumin. Oh my god, it is awesome. That was an incredible moment in the anime movie, and you can see that right here. This is yeah, it's wonderful. If you can get that card, very, very nice. And then you have your SPs down below. I love what they did here. With the Aqua, the Megumin, Darkness over there. I mean, you got Yunyun and you got Wiz, but they didn't get like this excellent treatment over here on the left. Now, what they did with the second edition was they made it in silver signature, okay? So on TCG Player, what you're going to see listed on here, booster box 219.95 for the first print with the gold signature. Second edition, you have $78.88. I imagine that's going to go down because no one is buying it. It was in the 80s, now it's in the 70s. We'll see how far it goes. It'll probably be in the 60s, my guess, in the near term. Also, you have the cases off to the right here, which is $1,400.88. There is no listing right now for second edition. I don't know if they just not going to put it up there, but if one of these sellers is deciding to sell it, they may want to mark it as silver edition. Now, going over here, you're going to see what we got going on. This is your SSP and gold edition. This is one of the cases where I go, which one's going to be more expensive? People ask me all that all the time, and I will tell you, I like the gold better than the silver. Just something I like, especially when you think about Megumin and Yunyun. Like if you take a look at the colors already on this card, yeah, gold should really catch the eye on this one. So I would say that's where it would be. We have no listings at this point for the silver edition on here. But even then, I think it should be more towards the gold. Will these values hold up? It depends on how many are actually open, but I think would I buy these at $3,000? No, heck no. I'd rather go buy some cases of some other stuff, but I do enjoy this. If the price is right on the silver edition, maybe I don't say no to that. Over here, this one's interesting. I'm gonna put this as A to Z. You're gonna see this over here. Remember, these are gold first editions, and like I said, people ask me, is gold always gonna be higher than silver? And I'm like, well, it kind of just depends on the color. When I look at this aqua over here in blue, I would love the silver edition over that. People also talk about like how many of these things do you think is going to be printed and how many are going to be in existence? Like popularity of it. Do you think there's going to be more silver editions or less silver editions versus the gold? And with this reprint, how I imagine it going is I think we'll have less of these silvers. But even then, because people's, I guess, conception on what the prices should be of these, if this aqua comes in pretty low, I think it's a nice buy for me. I love it. I freaking love this card. But as you can see here, there's not a lot of buying going on. There's not a lot of listings, and there's not a lot of buying of this. I mean, we just have to wait and see, but it's not high, right? Like you have this Union. Imagine this: the gold is 124. What do you think the silver edition is going to be priced at in order to sell if people think it's worth less? Right, you have Aqua 179, you have this Megumin 499.99, and you already have the silver sitting here at 300. You have the Wiz at 149, and there's four listings of it, and then none in the silver. So we'll see what this turns out, but I can't imagine this goes very well. The ones cards that I've seen being sold are some double rares. And then you also have these SRs, and I know you people in your pervy cards. Sorry, I just had to say it. Embarrassed laugh, Megumin. I don't judge it like that. I mean, we've all watched anime. There's a lot of stuff in it. So $30.99 is where we are, and we did get one sale. Congratulations, $30 on January 31st, 2025. You have this shy Yunyun over here, sitting at $20. Wow. We had three sales on two on the 29th, one on the 31st, $20, and 1901, which I'm pretty sure 99 cents made it $20. So three cards sold for $20. And beyond all that, right, there's some playable cards that people decided to pick up. Here's some triple rares for you. But why this is going to be a major problem, what's going to stop it from being sold, right? The whole fact that no one's really using it. Just take a look at this. I know people are throwing around this whole idea of darkness. So if you're wondering what page I'm on, this is the Weiss Schwarz Master post that you can find out there on Weiss Tea Time. It shows you the current Bushiroad Championship Series being held in all these wonderful different cities. Let me zoom in there for you. There you go. Sacramento, Duluth. I can't say that next one. Houston, Melbourne. You get the idea. There was also one that was held this weekend in Rosemont, Illinois, USA. Good old USA. So hopefully you all had a fun time out there. I know people were all excited to show up. I saw planes landing. Great. It's all good. But yeah, I don't see KonoSuba on this list. Yeah, so when I go over here to this thing, this is your double rare listing. Again, people are buying it. I mean, there are some sales not recently on this darkness. I of course I click on the darkness and nothing oh wait, hold on. That's why I had A to Z over here. Let me just hit refresh. I hate when it does that. I wish it would just go by page, but no, it knows what I did on the last one. Okay, so you can see right here there were some sales. Ooh, two sales on 2/2, which is actually today for 625. One on January 31st, one on actually three cards on January 30th. Wow, someone's really showing up to this one. But you get my point. I'm not trying to be sarcastic. It's just the reality of it. This set came out in 2020, the end of 2020. How about that? It sounds better if I say end of 2020. And you're in the year 2025 against like all these other ones. Yeah, you could show up with some other deck. I mean, it could catch people off by surprise, but it's not always going to be one of those ones where it's going to potentially win. And you can see the field of people. Here's the darkness card. Look at this one, January 30th, two cards, $3.99. So the big danger, and what I keep telling people over and over again about reprints is, so here's your uh, uncommon, commons, climax, common, climax are all jumbled into one. The big problem, if you attempt to open this, right, and people, and you don't get the SSP, you get some SPs, and they're already out here and they're pretty low, and you can't sell play sets, you are in a significant chance of losing money, right? Reprints, the problem with the reprint of this old nature, and people always tell me all the time it's great to have reprints of old product because people may have wanted it. I'm like, I don't know about that because as we know over time, the popularity of a IP goes down, right? Especially the subsequent seasons. You could see season one, how popular it was, and then it drops off over time. So season two, maybe you get 66% of the people back, and then you have a season three, and now you're like, hopefully you have 50% left. What happens when this thing comes out and there's not really any sort of advertising about it? There's no real buzz when it comes from the player community. You have what people feel like as a low quality version because it's silver signatures. Doesn't turn out very well, right? Like you have so many considerations due. So if you stick your neck out there and buy a bunch of these cases, you may be finding yourself in a horrible, horrible position, something that I wouldn't want to be on. And just because it went up after the boom, that might have everything to do with newer people coming in, finding out that why Schwartz exists. Maybe they love this IP, or maybe they were trying to invest in it. And this is what it's going to turn out to be. So we'll see what happens to this first edition $219.95. first edition. We'll see what happens to the price on this, especially if it doesn't sell, because now you have a cheaper version in the form of a second edition. Okay? It makes me beg the question: why didn't you print KonoSuba? Go with number one. All right, take a look at this thing. Product type sealed. Let's just go with sealed. Yeah, $489.99. Dang, not doing that one. KonoSuba trial decks doesn't even exist. Can you at least print the trial deck? That would have been very nice. Right? Why'd you print freaking Kaguya Love is War? And then you have KonoSuba version 2. Dang, look at these cards. These are, by the way, what you're looking at the screen is not SPs. You're looking at swimsuit Aqua SR $149.98. Look at those guns. And then you have swimsuit darkness over here, $175. As dollars. They're not Canadian dollars, those are US freaking dollars. Right? You have these double rares right here, $25. Yeah, very expensive. Makes you freaking wonder why they did that. It makes me wonder. I have no clue. I mean, there's something else that I've always been wondering. Right? Why'd you pull HoloLive 2 reprint? We didn't get an answer from the quarterly conference that we just went through. There was nothing about HoloLive in there. And look, $120 and $6 shipping. So $126 for this booster box. They pulled that, but they let KonoSuba be reprinted. KonoSuba Legend of Crimson, to be exact. Makes me wonder. There's so many things that makes me wonder, right? Like if I just go over here to investor relations, this is supposed to be a different video. We can just take a look at this fine graph. See this fine graph? Don't be confused with like this humongous drop off. That is just because this is 1 quarter and this is a full year. Okay, like even though it looks scary, look, full year versus 1 quarter. You kind of have to go back and just take a look at some other quarters. This is 2 quarters combined. They're really doing this whole thing about combining quarters. It almost once makes me think that they're, I don't want to say hiding something, making you work to get the information. But if you take a look at all of this, and then you take a look at this down here, foreign language version is the total of English and Chinese version. Overseas net sales is the total of Japanese version. I'll talk about this in the future. But if you want to be on the same wavelength as me, you may want to investigate these quarterly reports out here on the Bushiroad Investor Relation site. Because it's very interesting. Very, very interesting. And it pretty much shows you why it almost feels like we're not getting the love on the English side. Also, if you're wondering about games, there is a mobile department. Let me see if I can find it here quick for you. There is an interesting graphic that I want to leave you with because someone sent me, I saw this on Twitter or X, whichever one, something about a Weiss Schwarz game. So, I mean, you may want to take a look at the future release schedule of the console games and mobile games. I'm not saying it's on there. It's just, it either confirms or denies what you believed. Okay, with that, if you have any questions or comments, you know where to find me. See all my descriptions in my description. See all the ways to contact me in the description. But as always, have fun, be happy, and don't spend anything outside your budget. See you around. Bye.